First tonight, an 83-year-old Champlin man has been charged in the Minneapolis bus shelter crash last month that left 5 people seriously injured, but the Hennepin County attorney says he will not spend any time behind bars. According to the complaint, 83-year-old George Jensen was talking to people at the bus stop when he left, circled around, hit a bus, and drove on the curb, ramming into the bus stop. Jensen is white and all 5 of the victims are black. 2 remain hospitalized. Though some in the community allege that it was racially motivated, Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman says that could not be proven, and the driver now faces 5 charges of criminal vehicular operation, which will not bring any prison time because Jensen has no criminal record.
He wasn't drinking, he wasn't on drugs, he has an established home life, and he hadn't committed any other crimes. I don't care whether the person was black, green, or purple, I would still advocate releasing that person at that time because he was not. Excuse me. No, I said I don't care what the color of the person was. If they're not a danger in the community and they're not a danger for flight.
He got 9 people on the ground trapped up under the truck. He's already proven he's a danger.
Now, Spike Moss, the man you just heard from there, is a community leader who spoke at length with Freeman following the announcement. We'll have more on their exchange tonight at 6.